I am always very purposeful in what I do. And so I wore yellow on purpose today to kind of really exemplify sunshine and shining the light on issues. And then I wore the black to symbolize my mourning after reading parts of the report. And after hearing the story from the young people, I can tell you that I am so deeply moved. Senator Peterson asked the question early on, and I think she asked it more than once, maybe 2 or 3 times, of President Gallagher, and I think his answer remained the same in terms of his position. So by acclamation, on behalf of the Select Committee on Women and Children, we are issuing a statement as it represents those of us who are present and who are present either by phone. And I will read this statement as it is written on March 10th, 2021. Motion to adopt the following statement in response to the Hush Blackwell Title IX review of the mishandling of reports of sexual and related abuse and the actions taken by the Louisiana State University in response to the report. The Louisiana Legislature Select Committee on Women and Children hereby expresses deep and profound disappointment and dismay over Louisiana State University continued refusal to meet the legal and moral requirements of an adequate and satisfactory response to reports of sexual harassment and abuse made by women enrolled in the university. Failure to heed and support these students who were victims of unwanted and unwarranted sexually related incidents that were both debilitating with long-lasting effects is both inexplicable and inexcusable. From the minimal disciplinary actions taken with regard to the employees held responsible for the university failure to provide protections and remedies for these victims of sexual abuse, the committee can conclude that the university remains tone deaf, not only to these victims, but to all of the women of Louisiana who demand that the rights be set right, that the wrongs be set right. Apologies, explanations, and promises to do better in the future constitute a meager and insufficient response. In order to restore trust, there must be consequences. The committee hereby requests the university to reconsider the punishment meted out and take action to terminate the employees it holds responsible for mishandling the sexual reports of sexual abuse and to continue to identify and properly discipline any other culprit individuals. This is a statement that we will enter on record. We will publicly have it printed because this is our stance and this is what we are asking at this point that the university do. With that said, I have no further comments. Again, I do want to thank everybody. Certainly, this is not normally how I would have ran the committee. I probably would have, in the beginning, have set some ground rules in terms of what would have been done and how much time people would have been given to speak. But once I allowed the system presidents to have the time that they needed to explain themselves and to answer questions, I found that it to be fitting to allow the survivors to have as much time to speak and to share their stories. I make no apologies for the length of the meeting. I have before sat through a meeting to make sure that the people who had came to be heard were heard, and those who could not attend or had to leave for whatever reasons were able to listen to it in their cars. And so I understand that, but I make no apologies for the length of this meeting because it deserved all of the time it has taken today and whatever else time it would take for us to solve this issue. This is not something that I can tell you, and I appreciate our male counterparts who have came and have stood with us. This is something that we can no longer allow. And one thing that I have clearly seen and heard, that the picture is much bigger than what we've seen and what we've heard today. And so we have to begin to address it one bite at a time. But I can tell you one thing, it is something that will not go unnoticed or without any action, at least not on my watch. And I believe that many of my colleagues join me in that. And it's going to be, I believe, we have some heavy lifting ahead of us, because I suspect there are a lot of undercurrents that we don't see. And that's what I suspect. And as we begin to delve into it, we'll learn more. But this is our statement, and we hope that y'all would reconsider.